So good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to present another video which is on the topic of innovation in small and medium enterprises. Going with the practice, just as and when I have a new subscriber, I prefer to have a new video dedicated to this particular edition in the YouTube channel. So going by the practice, there's a video dedicated for this particular new subscription. So today I'm going to talk about a very important point. Especially with respect to creativity, invention, and innovation. So, in management of innovation, I think is a key area of research that has received significant attention in academic circles, and this particular topic has been researched quite a lot by many people. Many people have given it different definitions, different versions of innovation from their perspective. Chapter has been divided into various sections, but I'm going to keep it very short for 10 to 12 minutes. Well, innovation has been considered as a very important paradigm or important phenomena in the 21st century. It provides a path for entrepreneurs to think out the box. I think it is an opportunity that people can take and capitalize on it to earn extra profit or create extra market for them. But however, due to less awareness of benefits or maybe a shortage of resources, people often lag behind when it comes to innovation. So, a number of studies have been published that have explored determinants of product innovation in small firms in Western countries. Sectoral pattern relating to innovation are fairly well established, and that is sectors vary in terms of resources, paces, and rates of technological change. Now, the point is that it's not a necessity that all sectors are going to innovate at the equal rate or at the equal pace or in the same resources. For example, if I talk about the construction sector, now the construction sector being a labor-intensive sector, we don't see a lot of innovations happening within this. But if I talk about the knowledge-intensive sectors like we have pharmaceutical, we have information technology areas. In these sectors, we often see innovations happening very frequently as compared to the other sectors. And another reason for innovation is that sometimes people will analyze the market, whether there is a market for the innovation or not, whether there is a potential to innovate or not, because innovation does cost a lot of money. So before investing your money in a particular product or a particular project, entrepreneurs are likely to analyze the outcome or output of that innovation that they are trying to work with. And also, innovation is something that is not going to be created or developed in just 1 month or 2 months. It actually takes a lot of time. You first come up with a design, you test it, you validate it, and then you see whether it has any market in that form or not. And by the time that innovation has taken to come in the form, it may happen that in the market, people might have changed their demands. There might be a new type of a demand that now is required than what was required earlier, because when we started doing innovation, we had a particular kind of a demand in our mind, and keeping that demand in our mind, we started making these products. But by the time we are ready with the product, we are ready to launch it in the market, it may happen that that particular demand might have changed the nature, might have changed the form as well. So that is another uncertainty which might impact or influence people innovating in the economy. There are a number of definitions for innovation, each of which suggests a very different meaning, often forms of innovative activity. In many studies, there exists a strong orientation towards technological, and scientific consideration. There is also an identifiable tendency to consider innovation as a product development or a process design. For instance, in information technology, the focus is both in terms of its role in product development and in the need for innovation in IT architecture, design, and development. And I think these areas do guide companies, whether they are small, large, or medium, whether they should innovate or not. Uh, then many researchers have also considered whether innovation to be considered as invention, improvement, diffusion, a problem-solving process. They have also identified three different forms of innovative activity, that is output innovation, input innovation, and process innovation. The multiplicity of the meanings of innovation is not, however, confined to research in the field of business and management. Invention, on one hand, talks about creativity, it talks about inventing something for the very first time. Innovation, on the other hand, talks about the ultimate and value that we provide to the customer. Innovation focuses more on the commercial aspect, it focuses more on providing the value and providing a reason to a customer to buy the product. Invention, on one hand, it may or may not have a market. We invent and we assume that there is going to be a market for that, but that may not be the scenario. But in case of innovation, what happens? We already know that there is a ready market, or there is likely to be a ready market for this particular product, and keeping that in mind, we innovate, and that is how we launch and initiate the efforts. Companies often consider innovation as a process characterized by high risk. No doubt, there is a risk in that because when we're investing so much money, time, it will actually take a lot of time to innovate. And by the time we come up with a new product, it's not a necessity that the customer demands will remain same. They might undergo a change. They might undergo through a change. They might have a new type of a demand now. So depending on that, the same change may not be possible in the innovation that we have done just now. Different factors affect innovation, which generates mixed organizational responses in different sectors. Innovation, therefore, is a contested term that is open to misrepresentation. Some think of it as a broad ranging creative process, others simply as a process of idea generation. Idea generation is a process whereby we talk about different ideas from time to time, and we can work on these ideas as and when we have a need to work on them. For example, in the pandemic time, well, we actually had no time to sit together and talk about different ideas that we can use in the pandemic time. So all the companies that have the continued process of generating or collecting these ideas from the market, I think they were very successful in launching or initiating new products in the pandemic time. So idea generation is something that should not be just a one-day exercise, but rather it should be a long-term exercise where companies should be in the regular habit of collecting different ideas that they may or may not use there and then. Idea generation is also another very good approach because we have a collective database of the ideas that we can use, and we can work on them as and when we want to work on them. Then there's another, I think, very important concept that we use in management of innovation, which is about product life cycle. I think this talks about the different stages in which the product goes through, starting from conception, design, then developing the product, and then testing the product, and then finally launching it in the market. So all these different steps, I think, play an important role in managing innovations, and depending on the stage where the product is right now into, companies can figure out the strategies and then think of improving the product, think of redefining the use of the product, and tend to capture more market. So that was all for the day for this particular video. We'll be back with more videos very soon. Until then, stay safe and stay at home. Thank you so much.